Warning: the following video contains spoilers for Season 6 Episodes 1 to 5. The theories presented within are based on the information we have so far.
The year 2045. A team of scientists land with their families on the habitable moon Alpha, later known as Sanctum. This is a colonizing mission, a fresh start for the human race. These are the Primes, the four founding families of Sanctum. As Josephine, masquerading as Clarke, says, familial love is a powerful motivator. If the colonists have something to live for, a legacy to continue, they'll work harder to survive. Each family was implanted with chips called memory drives, made by scientific prodigy Becca Franco. I mean, why bother writing things down? Why not just record everything instead and sort out the data later? This was the original purpose of the mind drives, then known as memory drives. They were designed to download all the information the host's brain feels, thinks, and experiences. Like the flame, the mind drives emit deadly radiation only those with black blood can survive. So every member of the founding families who landed on Sanctum that day was a nightblood.
We have the same blood, Clarke. Royal blood.
Sanctum has low radiation, breathable air, lush green forests, fertile land, pristine seas, and awe-inspiring skies. But looks can be deceiving. The new home for the human race is hostile to human life. When the red sun eclipses the yellow sun, the plants and the moon release toxins that drive non-plant life into a state of psychosis. Insects swarm and attack each other. Humans fight and kill each other, and the plants feed on the dead. During the first Red Sun event, scientist Russell Lightborn kills his wife, child, and many of the other colonists in a brutal attack. Wrapped with guilt, he and Gabriel Santiago, the only confirmed survivor of Russell's psychotic attack, work desperately for 25 years to bring the dead back to life. Like Becca Franco, Gabriel successfully hacks the memory drive so that instead of downloading information from the brain, they can now upload information to the brain. All they need is someone with black blood and a mature enough brain to hold the data. Russell's daughter Josephine is their first success. Over 25 years, they had 46 failures. The 21-year-old Brooke, also known as Embryo 47, proved to be a success. Brooke's mind and identity were wiped, and Josephine's mind or consciousness was uploaded to Brooke's now vacant brain. Josephine was back. Gabriel Santiago had conquered death, and the rule of the Primes began. After this, each dead Prime was resurrected with the same technique. So now we know how it happened. Who are the Primes? Each family has a family sigil seen on the flags that hang in various parts of Sanctum. The first family are the Lightborns. Russell Lightborn the 7th, Simone Lightborn the 6th, and Josephine Lightborn the 7th. The second, Faye Prime, Victor Prime, and their two children, Daniel and Kaylee Prime. The third, Miranda the 8th, Isaac Prime, and their daughter Jasmine Prime. And the fourth, a family of two, Priya Desai the 7th and her son, Riker Prime. Each member of the Prime families has a specialist skill needed for the society to function. Russell Lightborn is skilled in astronomy. He's also seen designing Sanctum in episode 2. He's also the leader of Sanctum, their so-called savior. His wife Simone is a doctor. She checks on Kaylee after Josephine gives her the unknown alien berries to try, and she marvels at Diosa's pregnancy through cryosleep. Josephine is skilled with languages, but is also a biologist specializing in zoology, plant life, and animal behavior, as well as genetics. She demonstrates these skills in episode 2, realizing that the eclipse was affecting insect behavior before anyone else did. She's also written books about the genetics of nightblood. Miranda the 8th may be some sort of doctor. She conducts a health check on Priya after her rebirth, but there isn't a lot of information about her or her family yet. Kaylee's family are also a mystery. They're capable of flying the dropship, they know how to search the mothership where they find information on the fate of the Earth, but we don't know a lot about them either. Priya and her son Riker are both engineers. We meet Riker in the shop fixing up his mother's old bike for her rebirth. It's the least he can do. She taught him everything he knows, he says. Riker also teaches Raven and the others how to build a radiation shelter, and the place where the people of Sanctum retreat to during the Red Sun is called Riker's Keep, presumably because he built it. Each family is resurrected from death when a nightblood turns 21. This day is called Naming Day. On naming day, the Nightblood receives the mind drive of a Prime, becoming a host to their consciousness and dying in the process. The Sanctum religion mostly exists to provide the Primes with willing participants. The hosts believe they're joining with the Primes when they are in fact having their minds erased, like Delilah, who emerged from the reliquary as Priya the Seventh. The resurrections are conducted in order. It appears that the order goes from one family member to the next, which explains why all of Kaylee's family are alive at the beginning of the season. This way, families can spend their lives together. Remember, familial love is a powerful motivator. Although this doesn't seem too practical, I imagine you would need at least one member of each family alive in order to ensure that the other families don't skip the order or try and take each other out. And since Priya and Riker Prime appear to be the only engineers, you would want one of them to remain alive to, fix things up every once in a while. And so far it appears that male Primes must have male hosts and female Primes must have female hosts. Like in the show Altered Carbon, which deals with similar ideas of technological immortality, when a person is uploaded into a new body, the body must match the gender they identify with. Otherwise, this can cause serious psychological issues and risks an identity crisis. The show hasn't fully explained how Nightbloods work, and I may make another video about it if you guys ask for it, but as far as I can see, most Nightbloods are women, probably because the recessive gene that determines Nightblood is carried by the X chromosome. Since women have 2 of these, they're twice as likely to inherit the Nightblood gene. If you're going to have an order for rebirth that's restricted by gender, you would need 2 queues, one for the men and one for the women. But for now, all that matters is there's an order, it keeps families together, and it's a fair way of being resurrected. Although in episode 4, Russell and his wife Simone skip the order and use Clarke's body to resurrect their daughter Josephine. Since Nightbloods are rare, the Primes are facing extinction. There aren't enough hosts for their minds to inhabit. Once the last Prime dies, who will be there to resurrect them? The scarcity of Nightblood is likely what leads to most of the conflict between the families. And if there's already conflict between them, then Russell and Simone skipping the line for their daughter is likely to cause more. The other potential conflict relates to moral reservations about the nature of their existence. Gabriel, the enemy of the Primes, probably left Sanctum because he hated what they were doing. Sure, Josephine was already a psychopath before she died the first time, but being immortal seems to have only made her value her life more and other people's lives less. Immortality and what they have to do to sustain it seems to have morally degraded the Primes. Another reason why Gabriel left. I guess Gabriel didn't want to spend the next 100 years with a bunch of backstabbing immortal psychopaths, which is kind of reasonable if you ask me. However, although Russell Prime seems like a bad guy, he does have some sort of twisted moral code. He objects to Josephine's ablation program and seems to genuinely want to protect the people of Sanctum. He believes he's good, even though his continued existence challenges this belief. He seems to have constructed this whole religion not only to make the process of acquiring hosts easier, but also to ease his own conscience. He believes that he has the consent of the hosts, but consent requires knowledge, and Russell keeps his people in the dark. The act of unburdening on naming day is another expression of Russell's need to be good despite doing bad things. He was guilty about killing his family and the others, but he continues to feel guilt about essentially killing the hosts. In a way, the tradition of naming day is a way for Russell to forgive himself before he takes another innocent life. When he quote-unquote kills Clarke, he weeps. He's happy he'll see his daughter again, but he's also sorry about what he has to do. Put simply, the guy is kind of delusional, and his sense of morality creates internal conflict between the person he thinks he is and the person he actually is. Josephine points this out to him in episode 5. He thinks he has the moral high ground, but he doesn't. He already debased himself the moment he began experimenting on humans in order to bring his family back. Russell could deceive himself about his actions, but Gabriel couldn't. So Gabriel left. Then, finally, there's Riker Prime. Riker doesn't seem to be a fan of naming day. He stays in the shop and works on fixing his mother's bike instead of joining the festivities. He also helps Raven and the others learn how to make a radiation shield. And he isn't present at first confession. Russell scolds him at the naming ceremony. "I'm glad you could make it," he says sarcastically. Whereas the others seem happy about the naming, Riker seems disturbed, even though he's about to see his mother again. Each family member wears their ceremonial clothing with their family sigil displayed in the back. Riker wears a black suit unadorned by his family crest. This is a visual cue that he's different from the others. In episode 2, when Josephine and Gabriel return from their roll in the sand, Gabriel puts his arm around a young Riker. They seem to have a close familial relationship, with Gabriel playing the role of the caring and protective older brother. If there's a Prime who's in league with Gabriel and wants to put an end to Sanctum's sick society, I bet my money on Riker. Alright everyone, thanks for watching. I'll be releasing a bunch of videos over the next couple of days that go into the Anomaly, the Mind Drive, the Children of Gabriel, and Xavier. So subscribe below and ring that bell if you want to be notified when the videos hit YouTube. Oh, and if you like the video, then please like the video. The YouTube algorithm god demands it for the grace of this channel. Hallowed be its name.
Hallowed be her name.